Good evening and welcome to City Pulse. Tonight we sit down with a familiar face. Kellyanne Borge joins us to reflect on an emotional reunion with a former teacher. Violet Chevasco has just published a beautiful collection of poems, but with severe health complications, her family became concerned she wouldn't make the book launch. That book launch happened last week. It was Violet's wish that her former pupil interview her, so up stepped Kellyanne to help share her work and ensure Violet's words would reach the wider community. We'll do that in part two, a really emotional interview between Violet and Kellyanne. One absolutely not to be missed. Do get in touch, by the way, citypulse@gbc.gi if you'd like to have your say. But first things first, all things topical as usual. A big hello to my guests tonight, contributors, legends, famous people.
Bueno.
Tú eres del viral clip, ¿no?
No, ese era mi hermano en mí.
Yeah, how does it feel to be Mr. Worldwide?
Bueno, mira, I don't know, lo que me he liado, because now I can't even go to Mercadona tranquilo.
I don't think you could go to Mexico tranquilo.
Well, whatever, yeah. I don't know. Maybe there are some advantages to that and some disadvantages, pero...
Have you found that people are sort of stopping you and...
Well, I went into a shop the other day, ¿vale? And the lady who was shop assistant is Spanish. And she was serving me, me dice, "Uy, vi su video." Y digo, anda. Oh,
¿Y qué te dijo?
No, she just said that, vi tu video, ¿no?
Yeah.
Tengo de buena tinta que it's actually reached very high levels of whatever.
How much can you share?
How much can I share? Apparently it's been watched by the foreign affairs people in Spain.
Claro.
¿Qué va?
Claro.
Yep.
Wow.
Sí. And I've got that from a very reliable source, ¿vale? No porque lo estaba mirando yo ni mucho de eso. I mean, bueno, whatever. Me la liaron.
Like water off a duck's back. Love it. So let's talk traffic. We've got quite a few. I mean, it's been a busy week. A lot has happened here on The Rock. Let's start with traffic, and you'll know by now that a new camera installed on Queensway last week that will assist in identifying vehicles that do not have a valid MOT certificate. So it's part of a trial rollout of automatic number plate recognition cameras that use high-speed imaging to take pictures of vehicles. Now, the information is then cross-referenced with a database of licenses and relevant MOT certificates. If I told you that out of 52,000 vehicles registered in Gibraltar, 16,000 of them did not have a valid MOT, would you think I was joking? That is over 30%. That's
Ridiculous.
That's every third. I mean, I'm no mathematician, but that's a lot.
Ridiculous.
It is a lot, la verdad.
It's a lot.
Espérate,
Pero no me sorprende.
espérate. 52,000 vehicles, ¿vale? That means there are more vehicles than people,
Yep.
okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
Claro.
Right, pero I have to question, are all those vehicles still on the road, or is this a question of some vehicles which may not exist anymore,
Y todavía no lo
which
han
have
quitado.
not been, shall we say, taken off the register or eliminated
I would
from
guess.
the register?
I would guess the former. I can confirm that Gibraltar is, if not top 3 most vehicles per person in the world.
No, Hanoi.
Capita. No,
Hanoi,
en la
seguro.
vida.
Hanoi,
Yep.
5 million
Honestly, yeah.
mopeds and with a population of 7 million people.
No me
Gibraltar's
digas.
Gibraltar's up there
City.
with Liechtenstein and with Monaco. Of course, there's a
Son
Pero mira,
exagerados
yeah, that
también.
was small.
En una casa
Overput.
there's normally 4 bikes, 2
yes.
cars,
Yeah.
un bote, el caravan.
Sí, es verdad,
La gente
es
son
verdad.
exagerados también.
There's a
siempre.
few issues which come up with this, Robin, porque mira, I was
You nearly
watching
forgot my name, by the way.
¿Eh?
You nearly forgot my name.
Sí, yo lo sé.
Digo, mira,
Aquí vienen tanta gente, yo no me acuerdo ya.
mira, Robin.
What I was going to say is, I googled this up, ¿vale? And in the UK, and I assume that in Gibraltar is the same, if you don't have a valid MOT, it actually invalidates your insurance, okay? Now, if what they were saying in the interview the other day, okay, these cameras are not going to be initially used, or apparently, for fining people, ¿vale? And then they're going to notify you of the fact that you haven't got an MOT yet. But entonces you're actually allowing people to commit an offense because you're allowing them to drive without an insurance, which is an offense, ¿vale? Okay. La otra cosa que te iba a decir es, pre-COVID, they used to send reminders to people.
Yeah, they
Y
did.
ya no lo hacen, ya.
Ya no lo hacen.
Eh,
It would be a good idea, maybe, because it is possible that you can actually forget
Completely.
to do your MOT because of the time span between one
2 years,
MOT
for
and
2
the other
years.
one,
Exhibit
¿vale?
A.
Y si vamos a hablar de roadworthiness, okay, and this issue is one that people have mentioned to me when I've been, asking people about the cameras y esto lo otro. What about those bikes, the mopeds, which come in from Spain with the little yellow
Yep.
license plates? Apparently, I've been told that those mopeds are not allowed to leave their municipality.
Eso lo he escuchado yo antes.
Okay?
Sí.
Con que quiere decir que no puede ir de la línea San Roque. Yeah?
Ahí está, sí, sí,
But they
eso-
are
eso lo
using
antes.
them to come not only across a border
To a different country.
to a different country.
Country completely.
Tienen seguro, tienen MOT, do these people have licenses? And you see them all over the place. Con que, es que I can understand when people say to me that this is all about castigating the Gibraltarian motorist. Se comprende.
Sí, se
Porque
comprende.
hay tantos issues ahí alrededor. It's like the speed cams.
Bueno,
the
los
speed
speed
cams.
¿trabajan todavía? No sé.
Bueno, no sé.
Porque el de
Well,
Lighthouse...
the issue with the speed cam, I stand to be corrected. I'm pretty sure the issue with the speed cam is that there are however many posts and only so many cameras to fit inside the posts. And so I think what they do is circulate.
Who makes posts without buying the
you're making this
technology?
No, I'm pretty sure this
No,
is.
you're making it up.
It sounds like I am.
Why buy?
Yeah.
Why build the post if you don't have enough cameras?
So for instance, there might be sort of 10 posts, but only less than 10 sort of
El del
cameras.
Lighthouse lleva roto,
The
rusted
one,
for
the
years.
one, yeah, I mean that one, yeah.
Bueno, entonces no hay que preocuparse, ¿no? Porque they probably put 3 or 4 of these MOT posts, pero nada más que van a tener un cámara
Uno, Mika.
con que, bueno,
That one on the by the
El
lighthouse.
by the-
I spent years going for jogs, trying to see if by jogging I could break the speed limit. Until one day I figured out that there's not even a camera in there, so I was doing it all off record.
Or
Eso
the one
como-
that's down by Waterport. Que that one, Waterport. That one's misted away, so you can't see if the camera, even if it takes a photo, it's going to
Yeah.
take a blur.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
esperemos ver, ¿no?
escúchame,
Maintenance
coming
en libertad.
down the hill from San Roque into campamento, there's a speed camera there,
Yep.
¿vale?
Eso de toda la vida.
Eso
Pero
como
no hay
de todo.
cámara.
¿Cómo?
Es una
Sí.
caja nada más. Ahí, if you look at it, there is no camera. So I have been told that the
Are
people
you
actually...
sure,
yo he
or
visto
just
esa-
it's just that you can't see?
Ve,
it?
míralo.
No, pero yo he visto el flash de salida ahí antes, otro coche.
¿Cuándo?
A mí no, pero me han cogido
¿Cuándo?
otro. Hace unos cuantos meses, ¿verdad?
Ah, ¿sí?
Sí,
Pues me
yo
han
he visto
puesto
flashes.
cámara
A
eventually.
lo mejor la han puesto para atrás, como en libertad, le dan como una vuelta, ¿no?
I mean, you cannot trust the fact that there might not be a camera, but for a long time,
Of course,
all
we
there was
should at
was a
least
box.
assume that there is a camera.
Yeah.
Sí, don't speed, people.
Yeah, we're not-
Lo
yeah,
último
we're
que
not-
lo quieren.
we're not say, wow, there's
Nos
no
van a culpar
cameras.
los dos por
Yeah,
todas las
yeah.
multas.
Encouraging people to speed.
Coge una multa por Cardona.
Is there an offense conspiracy to urge somebody to speed?
Mira.
Hoy en día hay ofensa para
But
todo.
now that we are across the border and
see.
there's been an image going around today on social media. Just as you cross into Spain and turn right, there is now a no U-turn sign there. That sign, I'm told, sort of comes and goes. That
Sí.
is kind of again circulated.
¿Sí?
Yeah, so
Yo lo he visto antes.
you've seen it there
I've
before.
seen that before and then it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Y yo era como, can you not? Me van a coger la policía.
Lo quitan
No,
para la
sí.
feria.
Eso también,
Lo quitan para la
seguramente.
feria. Because con la feria you can't go the other way.
Yeah,
Corta la
quitan los
calle.
tacos.
yeah.
Well,
Quitan
digo el
los
sign.
tacos.
No, I mean the sign. He says
pero
it's
el sign
not
también.
always-
When the fair is on,
Yeah.
instead of driving up to that bit and doing that U-turn,
You
they
just
would
go-
actually
yeah.
take off
Ah,
those
verdad.
taco
Sí, no, va
things
para
that
abajo.
they have there, which prevent you from going straight.
But now with this new no U-turn sign there, it creates yet another first world problem for the poor Gibraltarian that has to extend their drive a whole extra minute.
Es verdad.
contributing,
Up to the roundabout.
contributing to
I'm in a rush.
environmental degradation. Porque tiene que ir 200
El
metros
carbon
más.
footprint sigue creciendo, ¿eh?
Esto hay que decírselo al gobierno que
Esto-
tiene que parte el treaty. No puede ser.
Tell María Jesús Montero, she was there.
Bueno, no, yo voy a esperar que venga Pedro.
She
Se
was
puede decir,
there
Pedro, mira.
yesterday or today.
Es que, I don't know. Whatever.
On a more serious note, though, the issue with this new camera installed in Queensway, there's two factors. There's the road safety factor and air quality factor. The thing is, and I know anecdotally and from personal experience, that it takes so long to get an MOT test. And so it begs the question, does the MOT test center need upgrading? Does there need to be more slots available? Because people are waiting not days or weeks, but months to get their MOT test done.
Un año diciendo that they were going to make an improved building, they were going to do something new. Siempre hay rumores de todo, como en Libertad, apparently los bomberos van a coger un sitio nuevo, estos van a coger sitio
Yes,
nuevo.
they were going
Pero
to-
estamos
they were
esperando.
going to do a new
Yo no
building.
veo sitios nuevos, veo casa de lujo
I don't
saliendo,
know, I
pero
don't
nada
know.
más.
I don't really know. I know that I've got an MOT coming up in May, ¿vale?
Es que prontito.
Of which year?
This one.
Ya que prontito,
Escúchame, actually, una vez me equivoqué.
Good, though.
And I tried to do a booking y no me salía. Y yo decía, esto de hija,
Wrong year, wrong year.
me había equivocado de año.
Claro.
¿Cómo? ¿Qué lo hiciste para 2 años?
No, el año anterior. It was
As
like,
in you were a year late.
no. I was a year too early.
Oh, you're a year early.
So if you're a year too early, apparently, you, according to the system at the time, and I don't know if it's the same yet, you cannot actually book your MOT until 3 months prior to the expiry date. ¿Vale? Porque no te deja el sistema.
But you can do it 3 months and a year.
Or whatever, yo qué sé. Es que lo que pasa que, really, what I find fascinating about this is if they claim there are so many vehicles without an MOT, why don't they just carry out an exercise where they say, espérate, este coche de quién es? Este coche de Kenneth Cardona. Vale, este no es un MOT en 7 años. Where's this vehicle? And I should have to prove that the vehicle has been disposed of.
Ahí
Yeah?
está. And how and where?
Yeah.
Not just tips.
Because there is a system to the disposal of a vehicle
Yeah.
which works quite well porque creo que va al RGP or used to at the time,
Yeah.
you fill in a form,
Yeah.
they come, they take away the car, it's completely free of charge.
A eso.
¿No? Comprende con que
Cosas
if
así,
you
sí.
haven't gone and done the process properly, ahí está todavía.
I don't
Sí, sí,
understand
sentado
how they,
ahí.
I don't understand how they can leave 16,000 vehicles for so
It's a
long,
lot,
or
eh?
for just sitting there, no?
It's a lot.
16,000 is not
Yeah.
a mucho.
Pero,
One
is
in
this
every
the
3,
reason why
more or
we have no
less.
parking in Jib then? Because it's all just these abandoned vehicles.
This is from Eric. Very good evening to Eric, who's been in touch. He says in Spain you can drive up to a 125cc motorbike with a car license.
Yep.
So most Spanish mopeds that come into Jib are actually driving without a bike license.
No, but he's right. Eric is right. In Spanish law allows you to drive or ride a moped up to a certain power,
Sí, sí.
¿vale? With a B-class license, which is a car license. You don't necessarily need a bike license.
Vale.
Vale.
O sea que,
Sí, sí.
according to Spanish law, if you don't have a bike license, you can actually rent out, for example, a moped
Y todavía no
using your car
Ah,
license.
vale.
Not bad. Eso no
So is
sabía,
that what
¿no?
they're doing?
Bueno, yo qué sé, pero es que that is the law in Spain.
Well, look, on this, it shouldn't sound that we are just moaning. If this camera does mean improved road safety and improved air quality, then I suppose that's
is a moan.
That's the main thing.
It is a moan.
Speaking of moans,
Yep.
let's talk housing. So a few weeks ago, if you're watching, you might remember we had Henry and John of Action for Housing on the show. They spoke about the many issues affecting Gibraltar. One which admittedly we did not raise but has since resurfaced in recent days is the issue of government-subsidized properties being sold off for considerable profit. Now, this is an apartment at Hassan's Centenary Terraces, on the market via Chesterton's for £550,000. We know, anecdotally, that a flat of that size would have been bought originally for about half that amount perhaps even less. And now the government criteria states resales will not be permitted in the first 3 years. Now, it is fair to say that this particular property will have completed the 3-year minimum later this year, but the reality is that it is up for sale 8 months before completion. Discuss. This is not an isolated case.
Paul. No, otra cosa más, maestro. The way he's phrased that question, it sounds like an essay.
O no?
Discuss, sí.
Discuss, no?
I should discuss.
And show you're working out.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if the answer is wrong as long as the working out is right.
O no? It's the process, it's
I mean,
the journey.
how do we feel about? Is there a sort of a?
Okay,
should there be
this
a
is
moral
a double-
obligation
this is
here?
a-
It's supposed
yeah,
to be.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
supposed to be an
yeah.
affordable housing scheme to help young
Yeah,
families
yeah.
grow, not to make a quick buck.
I mean, without going
But it feels
into,
that way.
without knowing the actual details
Ahí
of this particular
Confusing.
Person
circumstance,
and their
there
circumstance,
could
claro.
be extenuating circumstances.
Y se la
¿vale?
doy.
Yeah.
That's the
Which
case,
is
100%.
fine, okay? Pero making a profit out of something which has been
Double.
subsidized by the taxpayer,
Exactly.
¿vale?
And not even just
that
the
is,
profit.
to my mind, morally wrong.
Yeah.
Sí.
And
Pero
it's
claro,
double
the-
the profit encima.
Yeah.
You're doubling the cost.
Yeah.
And then there's people that, because a ver, I'm on the list still, waiting for an affordable
Yeah,
house.
yeah,
I
you
have
are.
been on there for God knows how many years.
Cómprate esa.
That's
Half
what
a
you
million I'm
want.
not going to be paying anytime soon.
Claro que no.
Pero that's the problem, no? Like you see it and you're thinking, this is the problem with affordable housing. It's affordable the moment you can buy it for the first person. After that, unaffordable. And I don't know how you can cost it up to $500,000 expecting that, you know, the everyday person can afford
I
this.
thought there was a cap on this, Robin. I thought there was initially, and I stand to be corrected, but I thought initially when the conditions came out, they were capped so that you could only sell it for so much above the price
You'd expect.
after so many years, and then after so many years you could raise that to another level y cosas así.
There
no
was.
sé.
I actually
Yo
read
creo
about
que era
that.
algo
There
así,
was.
¿no?
Yeah,
And then there was
something.
like
I can't
a
remember
penalty
what.
clause to it.
Joe, I just don't understand.
It's very
how it's
confusing.
come out
It-
this
it-
way.
Yeah.
It's I mean, there's two sides to every coin. No, there's on one hand you think, well, no, like the seller might be thinking, well, everybody else is doing it, or many others are doing it.
But where's the legislation
that
to stop
doesn't
this?
make it right.
You know what
No,
I mean?
it doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it right, but I think the
But,
government
yeah.
should step in and say, like, no, this is how, like, prices in Jib, property-wise, are extortionate. I can't find, I swear you can compare it to London prices.
Yep.
Or if not, Monaco. At this point, we're going to that
Yeah,
rate.
yeah.
And the everyday person, I think I am one of those people, I suppose. I've got an averagely good job. I earn a good amount, hopefully. I can't afford it on my own. I can't afford a house on my own. So I don't
And so,
understand
if
how
I'm not
people...
mistaken, in Monaco, most of the locals don't actually live in.
No.
They live in the surrounding country, which is
Most
France.
monarchies, I said
And
this
are
when,
we at risk of that happening here
when
too?
Henry
100%.
and
When Henry was here, yeah.
yeah, when
But
Henry
that's the
and John
point.
was
We're
here.
being costed out. We're getting pushed out by gentrification of the, not to say in the bad way, but of those high earners and those that can extort prices from the everyday person.
yeah.
Because si yo me coteo eso, how am I paying for everything else after that? Because you'll wipe me out. I don't know about anyone normal my age or younger that can afford a house for $500,000. When it first came on the market, it was half that. That's quite... It's a tough pill to swallow. When you're waiting, you're seeing, you're looking forward, you're doing the right thing, waiting your turn like everyone else, you're seeing everything. And then all of a sudden, you find that someone's got the house, don't know their circumstance, and whoever the individual is, I hope they have a good reason for it, but it does hurt to see, you know, I know families that are waiting on that list, and they are saving and saving. They could never afford that. It's a bit...
We talk about
He very well
potential introduction of legislation to sort of tighten the rules and stuff. I agree. What you can't legislate for is people in relationships, and so partner and partner, they're both on the housing lists
Aita.
individually, both get a house, and then of course 2-3 years later get married, only need one, and so sell off the other, kind of thing. You know what I mean? That happens
Absolutely.
time and time again, and won't stop. La cosa, I mean,
No, las cosas como son. It happens, no? Pero there has to be a cap on how much profit they're making because it's double that.
it's just it's an investment opportunity at the end of the day, and it's just
You
being
made a valid point.
taken advantage
You made a
of.
valid point.
Thank you.
Yeah? But selling one of those properties, for example, which has been costed or subsidized by the taxpayer with a view to getting the maximum profit out of it, and they can legislate or whatever, but I reiterate, ¿vale? to me, it is morally wrong.
Yeah.
Because we are actually, how can I say, buying our own people out of our
Yes,
market.
yes.
¿Vale? Y vamos a terminar como en Mónaco.
Sí, sí, sí.
Vamos a
We're all
terminar
going to
en
be living in
Mónaco.
the surrounded areas
Se
in
van
which
a ir a vivir a otro
eventually
lado.
their passports, they can't have a passport because they haven't lived. Their generations have passed.
Well, yeah.
That's the problem, because Monaco
Pero
has
eso,
a
that brings
similar
another
system.
issue, porque por
es
eso es que
verdad.
están
We are
cambiando
being
lo
carried
del citizenship y el Gibraltarian status y todo lo demás.
Sí.
Yeah?
All of these things come into hand and they don't see the long game.
Yeah.
Stop thinking about the short game. If we keep on doing that.
Hello?
No, bueno.
¿Tú qué estás hablando?
Long game in Gibraltar hasn't.
Politician looking long term, si nada más que miran 4 años adelante, ya
Sí,
está, hombre.
para la foto, of course, por favor, ¿eh? Ponme la medalla.
Speaking of Monaco, it is now time to fly the nest. Not to Monaco. This week we're off to the Big Apple.
So I'm Caroline Bell, and I'm here in Brooklyn, New York right now, and I'm the owner of Cafe Grumpy, and we're a coffee shop. We have actually 11 locations throughout the U.S. Most of them are in New York City. Yeah, so we're a coffee, we call it a specialty coffee roaster retailer. So we got coffee from a lot of Central American countries, South American countries, some from Africa, and we roast our own coffee. And then we have our coffee shops, and we sell our coffee in our cafes, and we also sell coffee beans in grocery shop, cold brew. I don't know if cold brew's popular there, iced coffee. I mean, I feel like in New York, people drink iced coffee all year long. So we have a beverage line as well with a cold brew coffee in cans. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Most of the business is from the people coming into the coffee shops. So like whenever we have anyone from Gibraltar visiting, it's just like very special and cool. And you have to tell the baristas like where Gibraltar is, like what it's about, because I feel like sometimes it's still a mystery to people. Yes, so you actually can. It's at the Alameda Gardens at the Intervals Cafe. So that's, my goal is to get there this year, or next year, hopefully this year, and sit in the gardens and try the coffee there. The welcoming nature, and then just having tea together, coffee together. I remember my granddad would always have soup, so that's like a big thing. Every meal, he'd make sure he had soup with his meal. Just having like fresh bread in the morning, and my grandmother would, like warming it up in the oven, and just that smell. But just the overall atmosphere, I think I do remember everyone waving when you get to this house, when you're leaving to walk down the street, waving at you from the window, which actually we still do here at my house. And I'm in an apartment, so whenever we leave, when someone leaves, and we always look and wave at them at the window. So I feel like that's something that's really to me reminiscent of Gibraltar. Just holiday, Christmas time, just everything. It's such a special place. Just walking down the street, walking down Irish Town, and just going up the rock, telling people about it, like the peaceful nature of how everybody from all different backgrounds, religions, like lives together. That's something so important right now in the world with all the challenges going on. So I think that's a very special thing about Gibraltar as well. My grandmother I remember one thing, I don't know if it's still there's like a fabric shop with like ribbons, and she would always we'd always walk there and buy these ribbons, like right near the cathedral. Oh yes, she does. She's very interested. They're always looking at the the news and any articles that come out. She's always so excited because my with the family, I feel like it's with Claire and with Uncle John. There's we always see them, their faces in the news. So she just feels really excited and happy about that. Yes, I don't think anybody, well, except Claire, I guess, and Mark knows that I was doing this. So when I get on our WhatsApp chat, which is quite active, they're going to be surprised. So I hope that they're proud of me, and I miss them, and I love them, and I hope I look forward to any time they visit here, and I'm excited to visit there. So.
Thanking Caroline Bell, niece of Dr. John Cortes. Caroline, who runs a super successful, as you've heard, a super successful coffee chain in New York. And she's been kind enough to send some over, not just to Gibraltar, but into the City Pulse studios. And here we have some of her grumpy coffee, it's called. It's delicious. It's delicious. So I thought we'd have a taste. I know it's gone 9 p.m. and really we shouldn't be.
¿Qué?
Ay, guau, chiquillo.
It's okay.
café.
Decaf o caf? ¿Tú tienes ya?
No,
Yo me
decaf no
sabe,
puede
ya.
ser.
¿Quieres
¿eh?
azúcar? ¿Leche?
Leche sí.
Azúcar sí.
Shate. So this is,
Cigarrito.
I'm not just saying this. This is, as a huge coffee enthusiast, second only to you on this set.
Obsessed.
This is delicious coffee.
I can't wait.
Really, really, really good.
Yo quiero ir.
And you can find it in the open air theatre, the cafe in the open air theatre.
Yo sé dónde voy este weekend, ¿eh?
¿Tú quieres leche?
No.
It's really
Eso
nice.
lo tropea.
I would usually have milk, but this is so good. It's just,
A ver.
Venga, probarlo, a ver.
this feels like an advert for this grumpy coffee.
Yo no.
That's great. That's great.
Milk smells all right.
Horroroso.
Está bueno, la
Menos
verdad.
mal, ¿no? ¿Qué?
The obsession.
the smile on
it
his
works.
face.
It works. Estoy contento.
Sí, sí,
Me lo compro.
sí, sí, sí.
Mira.
It's delicious. So thank you to our latest Janita Abroad, Caroline, for having
Get her to
delivered us
sell it
from
here.
New
Good,
York some of her special coffee. That was good. Nice, eh?
The obsession with coffee is real. Ya me ha quedado
Sí.
más tranquilo.
¿Tú sabes
Está
que
cabreado.
Robin, that was one of the biggest disappointments in Vietnam.
The coffee.
Vietnamese coffee.
You don't
the
like it?
coffee in itself is
Fuerte,
good.
fuerte, ¿no?
No, pero lo que pasa es que lo hacen con condensed,
Condensed
milk.
milk.
Ah, ya
Fuerte, ¿eh?
Delicious.
It's
¡Cómo
amazing.
delicious!
It's creamy.
Eso era
Bueno,
miga.
¿qué
Está hablando, está
va?
buenísimo eso.
If it wasn't so bad for me, I'd have it all the time.
Eso peor que
When I
Dios
probably
mío.
still do it. I don't care how bad
azúcar
coffee
que
is
tiene
for me.
condensed milk.
Se quedaba toda la leche debajo.
La
ahí.
azúcar.
Bueno, después con
Café
un spoon.
bombón is
What is the speciality there is egg coffee.
Ahí está.
They put eggs in
Eso lo
it?
tenemos. Raw egg.
Yep.
Claro.
Raw egg.
Yep.
Wow.
Y está buenísimo, ¿eh?
Estamos diciendo que nosotros somos expertos en
But,
café.
so hold on, as in the egg white, not the yolk, surely.
No, no.
A whole egg.
Café, el huevo.
El huevo entero.
But
And
then,
you mix it in.
but does the egg not poach in the?
Paul,
A
para
ver,
que
a
se entere. La cáscara no.
Que se entere. Pero the whole egg.
The whole
This
egg.
coffee is
And then what you
crunchy.
do?
You whisk
stir
it in as you go, and
Oh.
literally se vuelve buenísimo. You think que no, pero egg and coffee go really well together.
How weird,
Okay,
no?
I mean, I'm a try everything once kind of guy. I
Ole,
mean,
da igual.
skeptical, but okay. Right, don't go away. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, a lifetime's worth of poems and prose by author Violet Chevasco. But before we go, actually, it was Mother's Day yesterday, and GBC popped downtown to hear some messages and just a bit of love for the mothers on the rock.
Happy Mother's Day! Happy Mother's Day! Happy Mother's Day, Mum!
I credit all my confidence to her. She's brought me up to be a strong, confident woman, to always speak my mind, to always have an opinion, not be afraid to voice it, and just know my worth.
My wife is a mother, and she's a mother of 2 and a grandmother of 7. So caring, loving, being there for everybody.
Once you're a mother, it's like you're going to be worried for life.
My mum is the best because she feeds me every day and tucks me in for sleep.
She fights for everything. She's like a bear mother, you know?
She takes care of me, she feeds me, and she puts a roof under my house. She cares about me. She provides me with love, food, a roof over my head, and she's the best.
Mother's Day is gonna be different because my mom passed away on December. It's a bit sad for me, pero bueno, she was the best.
I'm older now. I remember my mum, all those precious moments, and that's a mum for me.
She does everything for me, like everything, just everything. She's the best. She just does everything. She's just the best. She takes care of me. She's always there for me when I need her.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day. Thank you for always being there for me, both of you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Mum.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's
Happy
Day.
Mother's Day.
To all the mothers in Gibraltar.
Happy Mother's Day!
Welcome back to City Pulse. A lifetime's worth of poems and prose by Violet Chevasco has been published. Works spanning as far back as the 60s. Violet's health has unfortunately deteriorated recently, and now bedbound, she was unable to attend last week's book launch. However, GBC's Kellyanne Borge did sit down with Violet in her home, and it was a pretty emotional interview about the inspiration behind her works, plus much, much more. Delighted to say Kellyanne joins us now. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. All
Kids
of you.
in bed, settled?
Yeah.
Good to go.
Good to go. No coffee for me, though, tonight.
No coffee, no.
Thank you, no. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Paul.
Oh, the voice behind the radio.
There you go.
God, is that you?
God is a woman.
No, she is a woman. We knew this.
Oh, vamos a empezar. We had enough of that last week, thank you.
Mañana me queman a mí.
So tell us, Kelly, just give us some context to anybody who might not know Violet, who might not know her works.
So I'm here on behalf of Violet tonight. The family asked me to kind of be a representative for the family, which is a huge honour. So thank you to Violet and her daughter Miranda, who've been very kind throughout this whole process. But Violet was my teacher in year 1 in St. Joseph's Lower Primary. And a couple of years ago, we were talking on radio about World Teacher Day and what a difference teachers make. Of course, we're joined by a couple of teachers on the set as well. And I was mentioning, I had this beautiful teacher who was so kind to me. I was so shy in school. Maybe Mr. Gardona remembers.
Yeah.
I was so painfully shy. I used to cry every day going in at the school gates. And
ironically, now head of radio, by the way.
Cries every day before she comes to radio.
Yeah. There I am. Front row, yeah. So
where are you?
Front row.
La chiquitita?
Yeah, front row centre, right in front of Miss Chevasco, yeah.
Oh my God,
and she was really kind and she really stuck in my mind. So we were talking about World Teacher Day, and I said to Stefan, my memory's awful, and I couldn't remember her surname. I said, I remember her name started with a V because I cross-stitched a V for her at Christmas time. And her sister-in-law, I think, was in touch at the time. She heard it on radio, the magic of radio, and she said, oh, that's Violet Chevasco. I was, of course. And she put me in touch with her. She remembered me. She was really fond of me too. And we kind of reminisced a bit. And then fast forward a couple of years, Karen got back in touch and said, look, Violet is really quite unwell. She's got some serious health issues, but she's releasing this book, and she really wants you to visit her and interview her because she won't be able to be at the book launch in person.
And this book, I mean, is not just any book. This is years, decades in the making, eh?
I think some of them, I mean, you mentioned the 60s. I think some of them even go back as far as the 50s.
Wow.
And it's not her full lifetime work either, because she's got far more than just this one book, but it is beautifully put together.
So we'll watch that interview in just a second, but that must have been quite emotional for you, not just sitting down with her bedside, but even the fact that the family reached out to you, that she saw you as that special someone.
Yeah.
No?
And I think it just makes me feel even more lucky that we get to do what we do in broadcasting. We get to meet so many interesting people and be a part of their lives. And this in particular, I mean, such a vulnerable moment, no? And they welcomed me into their home so kindly. That, yeah, it's really special. It's a privilege, really, that we get an opportunity to speak to people like this.
So decades in the making, Violet's works were finally published, and the book launch took place last week with family and friends in attendance, and that was a pretty emotional affair as well. First, we'll watch that interview. Kellyanne sat down bedside with Violet to talk about, amongst other things, the inspiration behind her work.
To discuss your poetry book. What was the inspiration for it?
Inspiration is everything around us, because sometimes you write when you're very young, and then you look at it later on, years gone by, and you look and you see it's the same thing, the same thought. But I can't tell you what inspired me most. I just know that I've always wanted to write. I thought I couldn't make myself understood unless I had it down on paper. And really, in my day, it was just pencil and paper. That's all we had. There was no computer, nothing. But then the book is a constant inspiration. So everything that's gone down in it is sort of inspired by something or someone or somewhere. You always have it in you, and it comes out, just comes out at a time, a bit at a time.
This book, how many years did this book take to put together?
I've got poems there dating back to 1950, 1960. But that is not my life's work, because I've done other things. I've done narratives, like short stories, and I've done one that I'm thinking about now, even though I can't get my hand to write very well, so I can't do that. But I've got an idea for one.
So what are you hoping, when people read this book, what are you hoping they'll take from it?
I don't know. I think every bit, every section has a different goal, a different meaning. Some people might like the poems more, some people might like the prose, just the prose. There's a bit of prose that my sister-in-law is in love with. It's a bit of prose, and I can show it to you because it's called En la ausencia. En la ausencia de lo que nunca logré, quiero ahora florecer como el brote repentino que sorprende una rama en el invierno. En la ausencia de aquello que esperé, reflejo ahora yo la voz de mi impaciencia. Espejo de lo que nunca fui, es donde guardo ahora el caudal de mi experiencia.
Lovely. When you were my teacher, I was too scared to read to the class because I was so shy.
Yes.
Shall I read you a poem?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Preferably
in English, because my Spanish isn't as good as yours. I don't want to do your poetry discredit.
Hasta morir de nuevo.
What about that one? Always there. Do you like this one?
See.
Yeah? Okay.
It's about somebody you've lost.
Okay.
Or you've lost on the way. That you haven't really lost in person, but he's still there, or it's still there, but he's lost for everybody, and how you try and bring him back, or bring it back, the memory.
Always there. You are still there, despite the time, despite the distance, despite the rumbles, storms, despite the space. You grow old with me. Sorry.
Okay. ¿Qué te pasa?
I wasn't expecting to choose a poem about this. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. Well, your poetry is obviously very powerful.
It is. It can be.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm a crier anyway, as you know from school. Okay, I'll try and get through it. Wait. Now I'm regretting offering.
No, it's good.
Okay. You are still there despite the time, despite the distance, despite the rumbles, storms, despite the space. You grow old with me. In silence, like the faded flowers on my wallpaper, you are there, in the background, pulling at my will by just being. If you had never been, what would I do with the space you left? And what about the thoughts I think, the words I write without you, I wonder. It's beautiful. Yeah. I think I asked, you have also gone through your own struggles in life and hard times. So for people who are finding life heavy or hard to get through, what would your advice be?
that it will pass, that everything passes. And we all come out at a certain stage or certain time, but that everything passes, with the good, the bad, and the indifferent. And we have to take it as it comes, because there's nothing else. Nothing else. Thank you for coming. I've been thinking about this for ages, wondering if I could meet you, but not knowing how to do it, how to go about it, especially now that I'm, cooped up in bed and just reading and trying to reread my things, but it's been very hard, and I've been very pleased to see you.
Me too. It's been a real privilege to meet you.
To meet you as well.
Very special.
Violet Chevasco, who's recently published some of her works spanning decades and decades. Some of those poems, one of those poems read out by Kellyanne. Kellyanne, I imagine, and you've done millions of interviews, that is, if not the most, one of the most memorable.
Yes. Oh, definitely. The first one I've ever broken down with in that way. Which I felt quite bad about in the moment. I thought, oh, this poor woman, she's trusted me to interview her in her book, and I've had
but it was so
a moment.
Sweet when you did break down. The way she looked to you was so
tender.
So tender.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that we hadn't seen each other in about 30 years since I was in school. But it really felt like no time had passed at all. Some people just have that kind of special energy to them, and that's what she's got. I mean, you guys also know Violet, so you can attest to that.
I can remember her as this kind woman. I only worked with her briefly many, many years ago, but there's those people who have this kind of aura about them.
Yeah.
They
special person.
Yeah.
And I think it was that full circle moment, because she was explaining to me how in school I was so shy, I was mute. And when we were reading out loud in class, I was just physically unable to. And she knew that I could read, so she would sit one-on-one with me to help me kind of read out loud, because I couldn't in front of the other children. And now, 30 years on, I'm by her bedside, and she was really struggling to read because her throat was quite dry and uncomfortable, and she was struggling. Flavor. So it was that kind of full circle moment, just really beautiful. Really
and there was
special.
something she said at the very start of that chat. She said, "Inspiration is everything," and it's just 3 words, but quite impactful, no?
Yeah, and it's clear just from this book, which is available in Book Gem.
So talk to us about it. That was last week's book launch.
Yes, unfortunately I wasn't able because I was unwell last week, so I wasn't after all these months. We filmed that, I think it was October, November. So it's been a few months, kind of in production, waiting for the book launch to happen. But I've heard it was really well received, and they played that interview out at the book launch. But really beautiful in both English and in Spanish, and all sorts of topics that she covers. The one I read there was about grieving for someone that you've lost too young.
Yeah.
But it covers everything, from love to nature to grief to everything in between. So something for everyone.
And let's just see some more from last week's book launch. Again, unsurprisingly, an emotional affair with family and friends in attendance.
She's delighted that the book has been finally launched. This book has been in the making for years. I've known Violetta since she was 11, and she was writing poetry even then. So she's delighted that the book has been launched. She would have very much liked to have been here today. So we tried the next best thing, which was involving Kellyanne and Donovan to do a video, so that at least people had a flavour of where Violetta is at this point. But this has really given her a huge boost. And she started writing, but she wasn't writing for a while, and she has started writing again.
She phoned me out of the blue and she said, "Look, Jennifer, I've been writing poetry for many years." And that began the journey. This must have been 2007, 2008, something like that. She is hugely talented. She's writing from a place which is, I don't know where it comes from, but her inspiration is there. And her words are important.
She's a very humble person, like most intelligent people, and my friend is massively intelligent. I mean, I marvel at the gift that she has with words. She's very humble, and she'll be surprised that people have actually turned out for her. There is something that you can identify with. It's largely a Gibraltarian book because it's written both in English and Spanish, but I think there is something there for everyone, and you can identify with many of the things that she's writing.
She's a Gibraltarian who is writing from within Gibraltar, and she's writing about interiors within her thought process, her emotional process, and the life that she has lived. And this is about us, about all of us, I think, if we become deeply introspective. So I think this is really important.
Yeah, good place to finish. That was Jennifer Ballantyne Pereira speaking there. And she also mentioned that she's delighted for Violet that she has got these works out because, according to Jennifer, she should be regarded as right up there with some of Gibraltar's best poets. Such a talented writer, isn't she?
Very talented. I mean, as you could see just from that clip, her words are obviously very powerful, so they have an impact, very emotive.
And I love as well that it just speaks of the times that she would write any inspiration that came her way.
And she's still writing. She's still got ideas up her sleeve, and she still wants to work on more pieces.
Yeah, second and perhaps even third book in the works. So she's still got plenty ahead of her. But that she'd write all her bits of inspiration, all her little lines and stuff, just on scrap pieces of paper. Claro, we just use notes on on the phone. But she just sort of scrap papers here and there. She says as well that there's something for everyone in the book. No, have you found that there's still perhaps a running theme, or is it just...
No, like I said, it's a bit of everything. So even just in that moment when I opened it up on a random page, I think that's how I kind of like to read this book. You kind of open it up and then just see what your message is for the day almost. And then depending on how you're feeling in that day, you might interpret it in a specific kind of way. No, it's open to interpretation, depending on how you're feeling.
And that is art.
Yeah.
We have a current teacher, we have a former teacher, and I suppose we have...
We have another teacher.
So
behind the camera there.
So true.
Yeah. The world is full of teachers.
Shout out Julian. Yeah. So I wanted to talk a bit about the importance of. I mean, this is the undercurrent here. The importance of good teachers, and she obviously had a huge impact on you, and it goes kind of beyond academics, really. I mean, grades are one thing, but,
It's teachers going that extra step, and making sure that you're really paying attention to what your students need. And I'm sure it's so incredibly difficult when you have so many different children in your class, but making that extra effort and showing the extra kindness obviously makes a real impact, because look at us 30 years on and we still have this strong bond,
That's a really good point that Kelly makes, that you've got, say, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 kids in the class, all of different personalities, and whereas one might need a hug, the next might need a stern word, and that's a tricky one.
It's a challenge. I don't know, we've taught very different subjects. So mine is a practical subject. So I get to see the insanity moments.
What do you teach?
I teach design technology. So wood shop, textiles and food. And that is either seeing food flying across the room, people trying to play swords with little pins, or running around with wood and being trying to create a house or something, whatever. But I get to see the fun side, I think, in many ways.
But do you acknowledge, I mean, perhaps not day to day, I don't mean to lump all this pressure on you, but do you acknowledge the responsibility beyond school of a teacher?
I think that's what I think every teacher has a different style. I don't know if Kenneth will agree, but my style is very much about I'm not going to, this sounds really bad, but I can't teach a child if they're not okay. If they come in with a bad mood because they've had a fight with mom in the morning, that child will not learn. So you've got to make sure to deal with that first. So you end up becoming teachers.
It's like parenting.
It's worse because you're the nurse, the counsellor, the friend.
You're actually everything.
You're everything to them.
You're a teacher, you're a parent, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're a policeman. De todo, ¿vale? Actually, ahora que lo ha dicho, he actually referred to us as three teachers, and you just mentioned the teaching styles. Yo, la verdad es que I sometimes wonder myself, did I actually teach or did I just entertain?
I have to say,
you're a carer as well.
I remember you as a teacher and you definitely entertained.
Bueno.
I don't remember anything you taught me. But you were always entertaining.
I just thought that You know, you have these children in the class, especially in a primary school, no, for like 9 to 3:30, and I always thought, like, oh, mira, if you're gonna get through to these people, it's gonna be fun.
También.
It's gonna be fun.
Did you ever make it to head entertainer or?
¿Lo qué?
Did you ever make it to head and promoted all the way to head?
Yeah, I mean the head.
In the eyes of the students, 100%.
Yeah.
I was a student teacher and I watched him and I was like, I need to learn from him.
But it's a good point, no? So as to connect and engage with the youth.
Mira, what I found was really, you used to get all sorts of children, no? Pero que I found, and I think, that the majority of kids, even the really mischievous ones, and some of them, they still come up to me, no, and say hello y todo lo demás. What was very important, I think, was that you should demonstrate that you were actually interested in them.
Yeah.
Vale?
Yeah.
In them.
Well, regardless of whether I suppose they're mischievous or shy, or
No,
every
sí,
child
sí.
wants to feel
But they
seen.
feel special when you remember things that
¿vale?
they've told you.
No lo trataba como...
They love that.
You didn't think of them as a unit, if you see what I mean. You thought of them as individuals within the unit, no?
See, their likes, their dislikes, quién se llevan bien,
So
you get to know them and they
Kenneth,
become...
is it? Would I be right in assuming that you perhaps take more pride in seeing a child, now adult, that perhaps didn't get the best grades, but has actually blossomed against the odds into a really lovely human being, as opposed to a super smart academic, now a rocket scientist kind of thing, you know?
Bueno, I remember many years ago teaching A-level, ¿vale? It was a particular year, we had a very particularly good class of students then. And together with my colleague, Sammy Latin, at the time, ¿vale? Cogimos, out of 6 pupils, we got 5 A stars and 1 B, ¿vale? Which was really good. Yeah. And I remember the student who got the B coming to me that day and saying, "I'm sorry, I failed you." And my answer was, no. You are not the failure. You are the success.
Eso.
Porque the other 5 would have got through, even if we weren't there.
That's the thing.
I mean,
Smart kids will always
it was
like,
the
succeed.
one who was struggling and managed to get the B, which was the success story there. Yep.
Expectations are
I love
a
an
factor
underdog.
here.
It's all about the underdog, the one that comes in saying, I hate you, I don't want to steal you, you bore me, I don't want to be in school. That one. If he gets a grade, like, if he passes, it's the best day in the world. Like, literally. Poof. Which actually, I don't even care about the grades, to be honest. As long as they're okay, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Violet Chevasco, a wonderful poet, a brilliant teacher, clearly, who had such a positive impact on Kellyanne as a young girl. Because the reality is, aside from our parents, they are the biggest influences on our lives. So who was your favorite teacher?
Johnny Jones. Very strict, but he'd say things as they were, and was very disciplined. Fortunately, that seems to be lacking with the young people nowadays. Pero sí, Johnny Jones turned my life around at the age of 16. He told me to leave school, I was wasting my time. And he was right.
Mr. Asopardi in St. Anne's. He was always really funny, to be honest. He always made us laugh, and we went on school trips, and he was just like the teacher that presented himself.
Frank Asopardi, who taught me physics at Bayside. And Frank's explanation as to the latent heat of evaporation using ice and whiskey still remains fresh in my mind.
Kenneth Cardona, a student teacher, but he was very good, he was very funny and very informative.
Definitely Miss Triai, Conchita Triai. She, I think she really got me and she knew how to help me.
Michael Flores, who was our French teacher, who was excellent, great influence, and also Ivan Navas. And in primary school, when I was in Fitzgerald, Johnny Knowlton.
Mr. Duarte was my maths teacher back in the day. He was the one who focused on trying to teach me to Sabbath, making me have more confidence.
Mr. Connor, an English teacher, and he was a lovely, lovely, lovely guy. He was an inspiration for me, to be honest with you. He was lovely.
La monja que me pegaba en el knuckle con el ruler, porque I wasn't great at maths.
Arroyo, Manolo Guillén,
Había una pila de gente, por lo menos brother Ryan, Lúgaro, eran buenos colegas.
I can't remember her name, unfortunately. I think it was Rocío, but she pushed me through the equivalent of GCSE. But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have got through school. I don't think I would have passed. I think I would have left.
I had a few. I was always a teacher's pet. Her name was Mrs. Pitaluga, and the school was Loreto Convent, and she was the nicest teacher I ever had.
And we've had Mel getting in touch saying Frank Baglietto, another legend.
I knew she was going to say that.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's got a favourite teacher, no? Whether they were, good, middle, or bad. Sort of academically, everyone has a favourite. So, Mr. Teacher, who was your favourite teacher?
I'm going to say two names, ¿vale? One of them, unfortunately, is no longer with us, pero two men who I had as teachers who, to me, were an inspiration as a teacher. And I always tried to emulate them. Joe Santos, Mario Arroyo. Brilliant. Joe Santos, he inspired my interest in history in such a way, ¿vale? Y Mario con literature y libro y cosas
Mario
así.
was mentioned in that clip we just saw.
They were incredible. And if in my career I only went like 25% of what these people could do, then I would be very proud of myself.
Tina?
Mine were mostly nuns.
Why not choose one?
Going way back.
They won't hold it against
and
you,
we
the ones that
also
you
had
don't
other
choose.
teachers as well. Her name was Mother Christina, would you believe it or not? so yeah, she was my favorite. But then we also had people like Miss Brusson, who became Mrs. Pina.
Elizabeth.
And Elizabeth and Olga Payas as well.
Ooh, Olga.
Paul?
I've got too many, but at least two that pop up. Mary Chappie. She was a legend, and I rewatch her like jib talks over and over. Y después Douglas Casareto. He was the funniest guy I've ever seen in school. Se cachondeaba de todo el mundo, but everyone laughed with him and everyone learned. I don't know why. I still remember certain things.
He was a character.
Paul, Douglas,
well, it would be between you.
Mental constipation of the brain.
Constipation of the brain.
It would be almost a competition between Mr. Cardona and Mr. Casareto. It would be almost a competition over who could be the loudest.
No, Casareto.
No, but you had classes opposite each other. You would shout from one class to the other.
We used to sing to each other, ¿vale?
I remember.
Porque I remember once this kid, I was teaching something of fractions, no? Y this kid who was trying to be funny was going, and why, and why, and why? Y yo empecé, why? Y saltó Douglas from the other side, Delilah!
Qué bueno.
Yo todavía me recuerdo que Douglas Casareto cantó Pipí Ratón. The whole year group had to sing it to me. La cachondeo que hacía él. ¿Y tú qué? Who were yours?
Well, Miss Chevasco, of course, one of them. But, I mean, there's so many. Mr. Montegrifo as well in Bishop was a lovely, lovely teacher. In Westside, Miss Daly. But, yeah, quite a few. Yeah, Miss Daly, yeah.
Seems like a perfect place to finish. To all the teachers out there, keep doing what you do. That's all we've got time for tonight. 10 o'clock means bedtime. Hope you enjoy the show. Next week, we sit down with the recently appointed Police Commissioner, Owain Richards. A chance to meet the man behind the badge. From everyone here, thanks for watching. And to end with the poetic words of Violet Chevasco, inspiration is everything. Good night.
Good night.